Hello, Tiki Monkeys. Really good to be back with you again to bring you another story from the Bible, from God's true book, all about God and what He's done for His family, for His people. Now, today we're going to hear a story from the Bible, from the first part of the Bible, so way back before Jesus was born. Remember how we talked about God's family and how it grew and grew and grew and grew. So we're going to hear a story about them today, more about God's family. But first, we need to do something, don't we? What do we do? What do we do before we have story time? Wiggle your fingers. Do we wiggle our fingers? Get them all warmed up. Okay, wiggle your fingers out in front of you. Wiggle them up high. Wiggle them down low. And out to the side. Stretch as far as you can. Really stretch. And bring it close. And tickle your nose. Tickle your ears. Get your ears warmed up, ready for listening. Tickle your chin. Stretch ahead. And tickle your knees. And wiggle them out in front of you. And hide them. Where have they gone? Where have they gone? Here they are. Wiggle our fingers out in front of you. Are we ready to do our little rhyme? Okay. Wiggle your fingers. Pat your knees. Fold your arms. And look at me. Fantastic. Are we all ready to listen to the story today? Fantastic. So, we're going to hear one about God's family. So God's family grew and grew and grew and grew, didn't it? Until it was a whole number of people. And they wanted a king. So they had a king to look after all the people. And they had lots and lots of kings over a long time. And there were some good kings, but there were some bad kings. And one of these bad kings we're going to hear about today. Now, this bad king didn't pray to God. He didn't pray to God or love God as he should have done. He talked and prayed to a false God, a pretend God who was made by people. Just made by people, a statue. But he spoke, he prayed to this God to ask him to do things for him. It's very strange. And one day the king was talking to this God, asking him to send rain. But he wouldn't send rain. It was just a statue. It can't send rain. But this king worshipped this God and talked to this God. But rain didn't come and the crops didn't grow. Now there was a messenger from the true God called Elijah. And he spoke to the people of the king, who talked to this pretend God. And he said, there's no rain because you do not talk to or worship the true God. But this made the king and the people who worshipped this God very angry, really not happy. But Elijah wanted to show them that God was the true God and not this false God, not this pretend God that someone had made. So Elijah gave them a challenge. They were to go, all of them to go and build an altar, which is like lots of stones on top of each other, that you put wood on, sticks on, and then you put a fire on as well. So they each had one for the pretend God and one for the true God. So they put sticks on it, ready, and what they had to do was they each had to ask their God to send down fire to burn up the wood. So these people who worshipped the false God got lots of people and started to talk to the false God, to the fake God, and asked him to send fire. But nothing happened. So they're like, Elijah was teasing them and saying, well, maybe he's asleep. Maybe you've got to shout louder. So they started shouting louder and they started dancing around the altar, dancing around the sticks, trying to get the fire to come down from the fake God. Elijah was laughing at them because no fire came. Now it was Elijah's turn, and Elijah built, even put water on the altar and on the sticks to make it even harder for it to be lit by fire. But then Elijah prayed to God and asked God to send down fire. And immediately fire came down from heaven. God sent fire and it burnt up all the water and it burnt up all the wood. So Elijah showed that God was the true God and that the statue made by people wasn't a God at all, was a pretend God that couldn't do anything. Elijah showed that the God he worshipped was the true God. And when the people saw the amazing thing that happened, they knelt down. The other people of God's family, they knelt down and worshipped God and saw that he was the true God. And that showed that there's only one true God, not gods, not fake gods, pretend gods that people make, but only the one true God who created the world. That was amazing, isn't it? That Elijah showed that there was only one true God. Okay, now over the next 2 weeks, we're going to hear 2 more stories about how God showed he was the only God. Okay, and he is so powerful and mighty, and that everyone should worship him. Well, I hope you've all listened really well to that and enjoyed that story. We're going to do some singing now. Okay, so do a bit of a wiggle, get all warmed up, wiggle your bottom, get all warmed up, ready for some singing. Okay, cheeky monkeys, it's time to do some singing. Let's start with our favourite one. My God is so big, so strong and so mighty. My God is so big, so strong and so mighty, there's nothing that he cannot do. My God is so big, so strong and so mighty, there's nothing that he cannot do. The rivers are his, the mountains are his, the stars are his handiwork too. My God is so big, so strong and so mighty, there's nothing that he cannot do. Yay! Well done, everyone. I'm going to teach you a new one today called Two Little Eyes to Look to God. Okay, so we talk about our eyes, everyone find your eyes, two little eyes. Okay, so it's two little eyes to look to God, two little ears to hear his word, find your ears. Two little feet to walk in his ways, two little lips to sing his praise, two little hands to do his will, and one little heart to love him still. Are we ready? Okay, goes like this. Two little eyes to look to God, two little ears to hear his word, two little feet to walk in his ways, two little lips to sing his praise, two little hands to do his will, and one little heart to love him still. Yay, well done! Why don't you rewind and do that one again so that you know it really well. Next one we're going to do is one of my favourites, and it's, who's that? Can you remember who's that? Who's this? It's little Peter Rabbit had a fly upon his nose. Are we ready? Little Peter Rabbit had a fly upon his nose. Little Peter Rabbit had a fly upon his nose. Little Peter Rabbit had a fly upon his nose, and he flipped it and he flapped it, and the fly flew away. Floppy ears and curly whiskers, floppy ears and curly whiskers, floppy ears and curly whiskers, and he flipped it and he flapped it, and the fly flew away. Yay, well done. Let's do our Cheeky Monkey favourite, sleeping bunnies. Are we ready? Okay, everyone on the floor for sleeping bunnies. Right, are we ready? See their little bunnies sleeping till it's nearly noon. Shall we try and wake them with a merry tune? They're so still, are they ill? Wake up soon. Wake up, little bunnies! Hop, little bunnies, hop, hop, hop. 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 We do sleeping, sleeping lions. Okay, go to sleep, sleeping lions. See their little lions sleeping till it's nearly noon. Shall we try and wake them with a merry tune? They're so still, are they ill? Wake up soon. Wake up, little lions! Roar, little lions, roar, roar, roar. 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 Yay! What's our third one? Who's this? Snap, little crocodiles. Well done. Are we ready? Okay, sleeping crocodiles. See their little crocodiles sleeping till it's noon. Shall we try and wake them with a merry tune? They're so still, are they ill? Wake up soon. Wake up, little crocodiles! Are you ready? Snap, little crocodile, snap, snap, snap. 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 Yay, well done. If you have any requests for animals, do email me and I will try and put them in the next few videos. The crafts today are to do with our story. So I've got another toilet roll craft for you today. You'll probably have lots of these lying around your house. So the toilet roll is the altar with the rocks and the stones that Elijah built and the people built. And this is Elijah's one. You've got water around the bottom, so you can use some paper or blue tissue paper or material for that. And then you've got the fire that God sent down on the top that you can stick. So lots of sticking. You'll need lots of adult help for this one today, cheeky monkeys. And then I've written on it, God is the only true God. So in the email, there's a picture of how to do that. So that's one of them. And if you've got a printer, there's a printing one as well. Again, you'll probably need some adult help with this one, but you can do some colouring in on this one. So it's a folding craft. So you fold it and cut out a hole. And on the back it says, God is the only true God. And on the front you've got the altar you can colour in. And then you've got this flame, the bit of fire that you can pop up to tell the story when God sent the fire, to show that he is the only true God. There's also a painting picture on the email. I hope you all have a good time watching and doing those crafts. Have a lovely week and I'll see you again next week. Bye!